What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Here we are ready to rock and roll on a Wednesday night. And yeah, I'm not alone. I got two of our awesome people that has been riding and dying with the channel for a long time. We got Ronan and Nightfall. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on and hanging out with us tonight as we head back to Haddonfield as we so love to do here on the Night Watch Zone. uh, but I appreciate y'all coming on tonight and hanging out with us. Seriously, um, for all you guys that are here in the chat, thank you as well. We appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Real quick, just to kind of give a shout out and a blanket hello to everybody. We got Demetrius in the house. What's up, Demetrius? Good to see you. Jake is in the house, and yes, absolutely. Rest in peace to Mr. Reggie Bannister. For all you guys, if you've watched any of the Phantasm films, and I have tried my damnedest to spread the love and the light. Yes, definitely rest in peace to Reggie. Just an awesome, character in the franchise, an awesome guy, and yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Paula, what's up? Good to see you. All right. RJ's in the house. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was a fun one to do. We got Val, what's up? Good to see you. And we got Erica holding it down. What's up? Princess is in the house. What is up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We got Mr. Flo. What's going on, Mr. Flo? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Very, very cool. And for all you guys jumping in, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And everyone else, we got other people in here too. I'm catching up through the through the live chat. You guys are too funny. I love it. I love it. Mark, what's up? Good to see you too. Let's see. We got Lavelle in. What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Super tenor. There you go. There you go. Val said, I wasn't missing this one. I know. Jado, what's up? Good to see you. All right. Okay, guys. So let's start this thing off. As far as being fans of Halloween, I figured we were going to touch on a couple of things franchise wise, and also, we're looking into the past, of course, as we always do, but also looking towards the future of the franchise as we head closer and closer to the 50th anniversary, what I've been calling H50. And if they call it that, people got to give me some credit on that, man. I made a video way back. I said, let's call it H50. And then I saw other people making videos where they were saying H50. I was like, come on now. Ronan, let's start with you, man. When we talk about the franchise, the Halloween franchise, Halloween 1978, all the way to Halloween Ends, what is it about the franchise that makes you a big fan of it?
Well, first of all, Knight, thank you again for having me on.
Yeah,
And hello to
absolutely.
everybody in the chat. Um, so, these guys right here, this guy got me into horror. Jason. I can remember when I was younger, first seeing, I think it was probably Halloween 5, which, it's not the best movie to introduce you to Michael.
Mm.
But seeing the mask and, like, I don't know, that white mask captured my attention. But I like the fact that he is just a man. The fact that he's not really, well, if you go to the original lore, which is the correct one, he's not really supernatural or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a guy, um, which makes him different from Chucky or Jason or Freddy.
Freddie.
You know, um, Ollie's obviously Loomis. Everybody loves him. The atmosphere is a big thing. I love 80s movies. So Halloween 4 is, definitely one of my favorites. the atmosphere in that. We'll talk more about later, whatever's coming on here later in the broadcast about atmosphere and whatnot. But basically, it's the idea that he is just a simple, regular human being.
Yep.
Can be killed, can be hurt, doesn't really have a motive. And it's just, again, the atmosphere. That's a big deal for me. I like the fact that sets him apart from Jason, from a lot of, you can watch a Hellraiser movie and it's scary, but there's nothing you can really do.
Mm.
I mean, you just got to put him back in the box. But,
Yep.
At least with Michael, I don't know. He's just, it's to me, he's creepier. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You don't need a bunch of lights and magic and, this, that, and the other thing to really scare someone. Simplicity is sometimes better.
Well said, man. No, I agree with a lot of that, because I think the atmosphere is a big thing that caught my attention, especially when I was a little kid growing up. Nightfall, how about you, man? Like, what is it about the franchise that makes you such a big fan? What captured your attention that gets you to become such a big fan of Halloween?
So, Halloween was my first franchise. That's what made me fall in love with horror when I was a kid. With Halloween and Halloween 2 when I was a kid. And it's similar. It's the human aspect of Michael. There's nothing comedic about it. It's his approach to it. It's the way he stalks. It's the way he isolates his prey and attacks when he's basically on a mission. There's no supernatural element to it. Well, unless you look at the Cult of Thorn, which is kind of comedic, but it's Michael to me is like the perfect slasher when it comes to that. There's this driving force behind it, this rage behind Michael that makes him the perfect slasher. And I think that's what makes the franchise so good, is that. So I think that's what makes Halloween such a great franchise.
No, that's well said too, man. I mean, you guys are hitting on all the points that I really love about the franchise as well. And I think Michael, there's just something about those movies and the best of the movies in the franchise, and even the films, and we'll talk about this too, but even some of the films that may not be the most loved, or even between the three of us, maybe some of the ones that maybe aren't the biggest on our list, but I could probably bet there's at least some moments in the film where you do kind of get that Halloween vibe, that time of the year. It's almost like you can smell the fall season, you can smell the leaves, you can smell the pumpkins that are people put out and stuff like that. And I think the other part of it too is, and of course this was the magic of this whole franchise, whether you look at Carpenter and Hill and Mustafa and all those guys who put this together, but it's a time of the year, and not only that, but it's a time of the year where kids are highly involved with trick-or-treating, and that whole concept that you can be someone else, you can be underneath a mask, and what are your true intentions. And the films, especially the best of them, tap into that. So I think for a lot of us, especially of a certain age, that's why it remains so strong. Well, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why it remains so strong, because who doesn't think back to either going trick-or-treating or a Halloween party, or eating some candy on Halloween, or getting scared by your big brother or older cousin or whoever. And these movies ride parallel alongside of all of those things. And I think that's some of the magic that has allowed it to not only survive for almost 50 years, but to thrive. I mean, this is a franchise, as far as I'm concerned, this franchise isn't going anywhere for a long time. It'll take a lot to kill the boogeyman, and as we all know, you can't kill the boogeyman. So so yeah, I mean, it's a lot of cool stuff about the franchise. Now, as a lot of you guys know, our dear friend Val is a huge Halloween fan, like huge. Like I thought I was a big Halloween fan, and I am. But I mean, this lady, she doesn't play around. She really doesn't. She says my draw to the franchise was the mystery of the OG, the way the shape could get into your head and play on all of your fears. And it's so true, man. It's so true. And and I just had done a video about Michael kind of being the manipulator, playing the head games, and you saw that in 78, when he has, Annie on the bed with Judith's tombstone. You got Annie and Bob that are all decorated and ready to just really break Lori down before there's even any physical confrontation. Like, this guy is good. He's really good. And so many other reasons. And for all you guys jumping into the chat, welcome. We're glad to have you guys. And let us know some of your favorite moments or memories from the franchise, even if it's a memory that's personal, like when you were a kid or whatever. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, guys. And I kind of alluded to this. I didn't tell you guys specifically because I wanted to just get you right on the spot. But this is what we're going to do. And we're just going to kind of keep going in this order. So Ronan, then Nightfall. So I want you guys to give me your top 5 Halloween films in the franchise. So there's 13 films. So just give me your top 5. Now those 5 don't have to be in a particular order. We won't do that yet. But just your 5 films out of the franchise that are your favorites. It doesn't mean that you don't like the other ones, but just for fun tonight. You guys know how I roll. A lot of times I say, hey, this could change, in an hour or a day. I might feel a little bit different, but just for fun tonight, Ronan, what would you say are your 5 favorites from the franchise? If you had to pick only 5 that you could say are your favorites.
Right off the bat, Kills, 78, the original Halloween 2,
Ooh.
Halloween 4. This is going to be confrontation, or this people ain't going to like this, but Halloween 3.
Okay, I was about to say, don't say Resurrection, bro.
No.
No, I'm just playing. You could have said it. It would have been fine. Okay, so you got the OG, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, and Kills. So you went 1 through 4 and then Kills. Okay, all right. That's interesting. Okay, all right. Nightfall, how about you, man? What would you say are the 5 that you'd pick?
78, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, 2018, and Halloween Kills.
Ooh, okay. All right. So 1, 2, 4, 2018, and Kills. All right. Very, very cool. What are your thoughts, Nightfall? What are your thoughts on Season of the Witch? Any particular thoughts?
I like it a lot.
Okay.
I always did. So my mom was a massive Tom Atkins fan.
I wonder why.
Yeah. If I was of a different hue, I might have been like, is he my dad? She always loved him. And so when I was a kid and saw it, I remember being like, Michael's not in this movie. She was like, he doesn't have to be in this movie, son. So I got an appreciation of the film, and like always enjoyed that film. She was such a fan of his, and she kind of steered me towards it. So I learned to appreciate it even as a young kid. And I've always liked it. Like my entire life, I've always liked it.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. I think it's funny because I'm actually I'm always kind of juggling around different videos concepts and stuff, and I have one for Season of the Witch that kind of ties into a little bit, of what we're talking about here, because it truly is people on both sides of the fence, and even in my comments, I see that all the time. I see some people that say, "Hey, this is a fantastic Halloween film," or at least they say, "I love it." You know what I'm saying? And then there are some that still they're just like, "Nope, this is not my Halloween." And I get that because, and I'm sure you guys might remember the story, but I didn't like it when I was a kid, and a big part of that was because I, going to the video store and stuff like that, and we used to get brochures, like little catalogs or whatever. I loved those things. I wish my dad had never thrown those away because they were so much fun to look through because it had all of the artwork. Like basically you could see all the movies that would be in the video store. And I loved the artwork on the cover, of the films. And I remember seeing the cover for Season of the Witch, and it's friggin' awesome. It looks so cool. And the subtitle is cool. Season of the Witch. I was ready for this thing, And when I saw it, I was like, where's Michael? He
Yeah.
was nowhere to be found. And I was like, what? And I was a little kid. I was like, whatever, 7. And I just shunned it for years. And then one day I might have been, I don't know, late teens. And I just said, let me just watch this thing. I know he's not in it. I'm over it. Let's just see what's going on so I can just feel complete about the films, because I always wanted to watch all of them. And then I liked it. I was like, this is a fun movie. And kind of like what you were saying, Nightfall, Tom Atkins. I mean, how can you not love the guy? And so anyways, I had a hate then love relationship with it. But even taking myself further away from it, I can appreciate it for what it is, especially at that time in the 80s, So good picks, guys, for your top 5. I would say it, and this is really tough. I would say for me it would be 1, 2, 4, and then probably 2018 and Kills. It probably would be that. The original, obviously that's got to be in there. I think Halloween 2 is just so much fun. It's a great double feature with the original. 4, I'm always gonna love. That he came back, and I was at the right age where we didn't have Michael for a little while, and I was watching a lot of Friday 13th and Elm Street, and I was like, man, I'd love to have Michael, and Michael came back, and it was like, yes. So that was great. And I think 2018 is so good, and Kills is so much fun. So you guys in the chat, let us know which 5 you would pick. That would be kind of fun to see. What 5 Halloween films would you pick if you could only pick 5? Val saying, I got to see this in the theater back in 1978. There you go. He had this girl afraid to go in a dark room for a long time. I love that. Oh, that is great. Very, very cool. Yeah, he had that effect on a lot of people. Yep. Super Tenor saying, I disagree. I don't find just a dude scary. I just don't. Hey, that's how it is. Some people may not be afraid of the boogeyman. We got Ramon in the house. What's up? Saying AMC Fear Fest will show all the Halloween movies in October every year. Yeah, I think it's cool, that they do that. And when I was a kid, when I first saw Friday 13th, it was because they were marathoning the films. I would have never seen it otherwise. It wasn't like I was seeking out those films. I was, but it was really cool. How did you guys first see your first horror movie? Was it something that you were seeking out, or was it like on TV and you just caught it?
For me, it was my older brother Reggie.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, and I was like 5.
Oh man, were you scared out of your mind?
Out of my mind. And watching Halloween 78 and Halloween 2, and then waking up with nightmares of Michael Myers walking through my bedroom door on fire. And then I became
Oh,
absolutely fascinated with horror after that.
oh wow! It
It had
was it
like
because
an effect.
yeah, was it because of that imagery at the end of Halloween 2 when he was on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, that bro, that when I first saw that scene, it I mean, and now to think about it, I mean, obviously it's a horrific thing, someone on fire, but just seeing it in the film, that caught me too. I was like, "What?" Yeah, oof, that was a good one.
Because I was born in 78. And so, um, like, these movies had been out, and I was just old enough to like see them and just see like craziest stuff.
Mm,
Just a little kid. My brother is like 15. He's 10 years older than me. So he's showing me
mhm.
these movies, and he's like, "Don't tell mom." And he shows me, and I watch him, and I'm like, "It's okay. I'm not scared." Little tiny kid, barely old enough to even know what I'm watching.
Right.
And then I go to sleep, and I wake up screaming.
Oh man, that's crazy. Oh,
And
I
then I
can
wanted to watch
sympathize.
every horror movie that I wanted to see after that. I just became
Mhm,
fascinated with it. And then he started showing me, Friday the 13th and everything under the sun. And I became a
mhm.
massive, as you can see behind my head, Jason, Friday the 13th fan. And I'm so excited for Crystal Lake, but that's another day. But,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I got into horror. My older brother, Reggie, who, uh, thank goodness, poisoned me at a young age.
Yeah. Right. I like that. It's a good story, man. And I kind of did that with Kill because I'm older. And so he'd always kind of sneak down in the basement when I was watching him. And after a while, I was just like, yeah, come here, let me show it to you. Like I was trying to like scare him on purpose. It's funny because he's not here. He would never admit this live, but there were a couple times when I got him so good with some of those movies. But hey, it all worked out because he loves horror, just like we do. And yeah, Ronan, how about you, man? What got you started with your first horror movie? How did that happen?
So basically, just the guy that got me into skateboarding. I grew up across the street from him.
Hmm.
Didn't even know what a skateboard was. Saw him skating, got into it. Now that's basically all I do. But we would hang out, and he was a big time Friday the 13th fan.
Hmm.
To the point where he actually went to Tom Savini's special effects makeup school in Pennsylvania.
Oh wow,
So when he got back from that, he knew how to make masks and all that kind of stuff.
wow.
But we would sit and watch Friday the 13th, and all. He introduced me to a lot of old B horror movies from the 80s that a lot of people wouldn't have, like Basket Case and Intruder and
Mm.
stuff that if you're not really into it, you don't usually hear of these movies. But that's the guy that's got to get the credit, because
Mm.
ever since then, that's I've done nothing but watch horror movies. Either that or like superhero stuff or Star Wars. Sorry, dude, it's freaking
Mm.
cold here. I'm putting my blanket on.
It's all good, man. No,
It's so hot
that's a
outside.
good story. It's a
But
good
yeah, man.
story, man.
Yeah, like, and that was probably 7 or 8 years old. And
Hmm.
I remember we used to make literally like haunted houses out of his grandmother's trailer. Um,
Oh.
like we would decorate the thing, days before or whatever. Everybody would have their masks. Our buddy Billy, he was the biggest of us, and he used to have like he would take a chainsaw and like practice with it all day. Obviously, take the blade off of it, but he would be Leatherface, and so you would go into the front of the um, you know trailer and come out the back, and he would be
Hmm.
on the other side of the trailer outside waiting to come at you with the blade or whatever. And he had it to where the muffler or something was off of it and it would smoke a lot.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, we would do all that. Like we were big time into horror movies, man. That's all we did. It was horror
Hmm.
movies and skateboarding. That was it. So ever since then,
Nice.
you know, I love them. It's my. I don't love all horror movies. My favorite stuff, preferably, is the '80s slashers and stuff.
Hmm.
if I'm in the mood, I'll watch paranormal kind of stuff. But if you're gonna get me in the theater, it's gonna probably have to be Michael, Jason, Freddy. It's gonna have to be one of the the big ones.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. That's a good story, man. Like, like I said, it's always the family or the friends that get you going. And once they get you going, and I've heard, again, this is similar with a lot of people, but it's interesting because even if it was a scary experience at first, like I've never heard anyone say, and I never watched another horror film, or I never really liked them, or never, you know what I'm saying? Like people always say, yeah, I kept watching them. It became a hobby or a passion or something that I really loved and was connected to. So that's I always love those type of stories because that's how my story is. And even my brother, my cousins too, man, we would watch horror movies together. And like to this day, if I had my cousins on right now, we'd be like cracking up and reminiscing about tons of films that we watched together, and almost most of them were horror. And that's just how it was. Now, let me say this too, Val. I almost, okay, you did say 78, 2018. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's the same list. 78, 2018 kills 2 and 4. It's a good list. Super Tenor likes it as well. Let's see. Jono saying Halloween 2, Halloween 4. Halloween 4 is getting the love tonight. And I really dig that. I really do. D is saying Halloween 4, 2018, Halloween 2, and Halloween Kills. All right. Let's see. Who else? Ryan said 3 should have never been included. I gotta admit, man, and like I said, I used to not be a fan of it. I really didn't. But I sometimes wonder what would have happened if that whole anthology idea worked. Like if people did get into it, I guess we'll never know really. Oh, look at this. Okay, so Caramel Princess is going with 78, Halloween 4, Halloween 2, 2018, and Halloween 6 getting some love. The Curse of Michael Myers. All right. That, and that's a good segue as a matter of fact, because what I was going to ask you guys is this. In the franchise, because we all know we've got them, but what are the underrated or the controversial sequels that you guys do like or love? Nightfall, you want to start off with that?
I would say probably The Curse of Michael Myers. When it came out, I enjoyed the performance of Michael a lot in that film.
Yes.
I think it's the
Yes.
most intense, brutal Michael that we get that doesn't get enough love because of the plot line of the story is so bad at the end of The Cult of Thorn.
Yeah.
But there's some good things about that film that are really good. And I think that there definitely should have been a lot of changes to the film that could have made it really, really good.
I know.
But it's a guilty pleasure of mine. It really is. And I think it's definitely one that I saw in the theater a few times when it came out. That's the one for me. That definitely is. Well, I was glad to see that someone actually enjoys that film because usually it gets a lot of hate.
It does. It does, man. I mean, again, there's issues with it for sure, but I gotta admit, and I haven't even really said this a lot live, anyways, or at least live on the channel, but I'm appreciating it more and more over the last couple of years. We did a great debate, obviously for the franchise, and for each film, we broke it down into categories, and I did it with my good buddy Lee, and he loves Curse of Michael Myers. So I thought that this would be great because we would kind of balance each other out with our scores and whatever the audience would vote on. And there's some good stuff in it. I mean, I think George P. Wilbur, who played Michael for the second time, I think he was great. The Mask was as good as it had ever been since Halloween 2. So that was a long time because I didn't think The Mask was great in 4 or 5, but 6 it was the best it had looked in years. He gave a great physical performance. I think Paul Rudd was definitely interesting in the film. It definitely felt like Halloween time. The opening of Curse of Michael Myers is great. You know, it really feels like fall. It feels like where I grew up, and so I love that. And you still got Loomis. And I'm always gonna just love seeing Donald Pleasance. Even when he was older, and this was right before he passed away and stuff. But there's good stuff in it. There's good stuff in it, and it is nice to see some folks enjoying it. What about you, Ronan? Do you have any of the sequels in the franchise that are more underrated or controversial that you do like or have some affinity for?
I actually like Ends. I hated it when
Okay.
it first came out.
Ooh.
I was
Okay.
wanting, more Michael or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. You gotta understand it's however many years after Kills, and I don't care who it is if they're not supernatural, and it's just a human being after what he went through at the end of Kills, plus 4 years with no bandages, none of that, living in a sewer. Yeah, like it's not like he's gonna be Superman.
Right. Right.
So there's problems with it, but
Mm-hmm.
that's another one where it's like just the atmosphere of it's good. Um,
Yeah.
the soundtrack's probably the best out of that whole trilogy, honestly.
It is. It is so good, man. I've got it. I've got all three.
The Junkyard, um, that's a really good song from it.
Yeah. It is. It is, no doubt.
And Corey's kills were pretty gnarly. So, I mean, whether you like
He
him or
had
not.
Yeah, he had some good ones, man. He had some good ones. I mean, Rowan Campbell was great in it. He did what they asked him to do. What they asked of that character. I think he
That
had.
DJ kill was mean.
Right. Oh my gosh. And they cut that scene up a little bit because um oh my gosh, Darcy, that scene was cut. Her scene was cut. Her kill was cut from the. I was like, why would they do that? We need the kills. But right at the radio station. But yeah, the DJ, that was a gnarly kill, man. That was
All of them,
crazy.
like all of his kills were bad. Like he stabs the drummer dude in the eye with his own. So, like, I mean,
Hmm.
blowtorch to the mouth, that's pretty bad.
That was.
And then the doctor got it, so
Yep. Yep.
there's good kills in it. I mean, and then you get to see Michael go old school on that one nurse chick, so.
Yeah, bro, that scene was awesome. I feel like if Michael had at least one, but preferably two, more scenes like that, and they didn't have to be long, but just at least one, but preferably two more scenes like he had with Nurse Deb. I think most people, or maybe not most, but I think a lot of people would have been more on board with ends. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that was the biggest. I think that was the most common issue that people had with it is not enough of Michael. Michael doing Michael shit. It was cool seeing Corey doing some stuff, but that's not Michael. Which still puzzles the hell out of me, for them to have made that decision. Like I said, they could have still told the same exact story. Everything could have been the same. But if you had given us two more scenes of Michael doing, some cool stuff, like the scene with Nurse Deb, I think a lot of people would have been more on board with ends. I really do.
Check this out. How do you think, instead of Corey beating Michael like he did
Hmm.
and taking the mask, the scene where he gets the, what's his name, Mulaney or whatever, to
Hmm.
go into the sewer. Say Mulaney in a struggle with Michael gets a hold of the mask and pulls it off, and Michael kills him. Before Michael gets to the mask, that's how Corey gets the mask, and he runs off.
Mm. Yeah.
Instead of making Michael look, obviously he's got to look weak, but I feel like the only person that you should see kick his ass is Jamie, because she's been there, done that with this guy.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, that would have been a little bit more creative than having him wrestle him to the ground and kind of disrespect, the shape. But
Yeah, I mean, because and I've said that before and stuff too. There's 1,000 ways that you can get the mask, and people have gotten the mask. Lindsay took off the mask in Kills, right? Lori's taken the mask off. So it's like it's not about taking it off; it's how you take it off. And again, it was 1,000 different ways they could have done it better than the way that they showed. And again, Michael, yes, he's not at his optimal state. He's hurt. He's living in the sewer. He's infected and all of that. But the other thing too, and I remember vividly when I was in the theater, when he killed Mulaney and he kind of did, he kind of hulked up a little bit. And I was like, that's what they're going to do. He's going to make a couple of kills and kind of get back into the groove and all that type of stuff. I was like, that's what they're going to do. No, that's not what they did. And I'm thinking, it was right there. You guys could have used that. I mean, so yeah.
it's like it definitely, they wanted to say like it definitely did something to him.
Right,
like he
right.
gets some kind of high or adrenaline rush from it, but
yeah,
either way, that doesn't counteract what's going on with him though.
Right.
How many times he gets shot in the first between 2018 and Kills? I mean, I haven't counted it, but I mean, he gets shot a lot and stabbed.
Yeah.
And basically lit on fire. So
I think the biggest problem with Halloween Ends is it makes the most sense out of any horror film as far as like how they do Michael. But like if he took so much punishment in other films and showed no effects, so it's hard to take a movie and finally show the effects of all the damage he's taken.
Right.
So you can't do that all of a sudden. You can't have him take so much damage and show no effects of it and then go, now we're going to show it finally.
Right. That is an excellent point.
And that's what took I know for me, it was like, you can't do this now.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
Even though it makes sense. It's like, why do it now?
Yeah. It just doesn't add up because at the end of the and we're turning this into a Halloween Ends thing. I love it. But I gotta, it's a big thing because again, Halloween Ends wanted to pivot the story. Okay, fine. They wanted to show how the evil not only continued to affect Haddonfield, but how it could infect someone and basically kind of give you a bird's eye view of someone becoming Michael. Not really Michael, but how they can make that turn, which we never saw in 78. He just booms, kills Judith, and we're like, wow, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not counting 2007, because how could you not become Michael Myers living in that type of a world? Everybody was horrible to him except for his mother and his baby sister. But anyways, but I agree. You come off of Kills where he literally is fighting a town. Okay. He, like you said, Ronan, he got shot. I think I counted like 8 times. He got stabbed. He got the pitchfork in the back. He came out of the burning house. No one ever talks about the fact that he was in that house. Yes, he was hiding in the gun locker, but what about smoke inhalation, right? The firefighters,
half his mask was melted to his face.
There you go. So it's like, you're not even talking about all those things. So he was so hurt, and then he just kicked everyone's ass in the town square, and then he kills Karen. And it's so you can't just go from that. And I don't care that it's 4 years later, but for the viewing audience, especially the general audience, not us, we're hardcore. We're going to see it anyways. We already know the time frame. We know everything we need to know. But for the general audience that is not locked in like we are, they see Kills and then they come in to see Ends and they're like, why is Michael getting his ass kicked? I mean, so you're right. It was a poor decision as far as pivoting that much. Like they could have showed him, whatever, maybe still a little hurt or whatever, but he's got to come back. you know, even if you have Corey as kind of the focal point, Michael still, you have to respect Michael because he is the show. You know, if he's diminished, the film can be diminished, you know, in the eyes of so many of the fans, which it was. So, yeah, man.
Another way to go about it, I'll make it brief because I don't want to, like, again, turn this all about ends, but maybe don't even have Corey take his mask. Like, have him in that little clown mask or whatever. And
right.
Have more Michael in it. Don't have Corey and him have a confrontation. Michael's still injured. Like, when he grabs people, he's limping or whatever. Maybe you could have a scene where, like, somebody is getting the best of him. That's where Corey comes in to help and take care of him. And that's who then leads him to Laurie, you know. But more Michael, less getting his ass kicked other than just by Laurie at the end of it. You know, because then imagine, obviously she did take on both of them, but imagine taking on both Corey and Michael at the same time.
Yep. It could have been fun. There's a lot of different ways.
I don't know why they had to. I don't know. You guys already talked about it, but
I don't know either.
You don't show him getting out wrestled by a dude who's smaller than him.
I know, man. And when he did it, man, he like pushed him down, and he's like, you know, I forgot what he said, but he's like, "Give me that mask. You're just a man in a mask." And I'm like, bro, come on, let's not stack that many insults in one moment, bro. You know what I mean? Just take it and run. You know, but you could tell, you know, he was all confident and shit. It's like, come on, bro. You can't.
Why don't you just bitch slap him? You
know, that's what it felt like. He did. Oh my god. Hey, real quick too, in the chat, we got Rachel in the house giving you guys a shout out. I love it. Good to see you, Rachel. Hope you're doing well. I know you have some really interesting and fun and awesome thoughts about the franchise. Yes. Very, very cool. Okay, so those are some of the films that are controversial or underrated that we enjoy, and I agree with you guys, because I think Curse of Michael Myers, and I do think Ends has some good stuff in it, and I've talked about that too. So I totally agree with you guys. But let's talk about the versions of Michael, and obviously we've had tons of them over the course of the franchise. Ronan, I'll start with you. What do you think? Okay, I'm going to ask this in a careful way. What do you think is the best version of Michael? And it may not necessarily be your favorite, okay? Because, like, you know, when I talk about it, you know, there for me, anyways, there is a difference between favorite and best. This might be tough for us, you know, as far as talking Michael. But what do you think is the best version of Michael from the franchise, and why?
Well, I completely understand what you're saying, because my favorite is James Jude Courtney.
Okay.
Nick Castle's the best.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have any of the other versions without him anyway. Like, he, in my opinion, has to be the best, because, I mean, he's the reason why you have everybody else doing it. He also set the mannerisms. He set the tone. Him and John Carpenter made him who he is. So that's the guy. You know, they're like, I was talking to you backstage, they're making that game. They went and got Nick Castle for that. You know? Same thing with the newest trilogy.
Yep.
He's definitely the greatest. Definitely top 3 as far as favorites too, but James Jude Courtney is my favorite, hands down. Just because he captured that same feel of Nick Castle. He captured the best. And I haven't seen anybody really capture the best since, you know, the original. So.
All right. Well said. Nightfall, how about you, man? I mean, what would you say is the best version of the Shape?
My answer is almost exactly the same. My favorite is James Jude Courtney, but the best version is the OG in the original 78 Nick Castle. The way he moves around and stalked Laurie from the beginning of the film. Like, when we watch the film now, because we, of course, have watched it so many times, all of us. Like, if if someone watched that film for the first time, um, that film today is still a classic. Like it still fits in today as
Mm-hmm.
far as how um, I'm trying to find the words to put, but the way Michael's character is portrayed in that first film, it's way ahead of its time.
Yep. Yep.
When you watch a lot of older slasher films from that time frame that came afterwards for several years after, a lot of them are outdated and they're still good. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but that film is so complex. Like Michael's character specifically,
Mm-hmm.
um, from the escape from the mental hospital, because there's none of the whole brother sister aspect in the first film.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a character who's escaped from a mental hospital who comes back to Haddonfield, who stalks his prey, right?
Yep.
So everything from the way he maneuvers from place to place, like when you see Loomis on the square waiting for Sheriff Brackett, right? And he's turning around and you see Michael like pull up at the light and Loomis is there and he just drives right past Loomis right there carefully,
Mm-hmm.
just in the background.
Yep.
When he's hiding in the bushes watching Lori and her friends don't see him yet, and he ducks behind the bushes before her friends can see, and then he just tucks away. Like that version of Michael is just perfect, absolutely
Mm.
perfect. And I don't think they ever got near that again, like in the franchise.
Mm.
Now, I love the way James Jude Courtney played the character, right? But the original Michael, untouchable, absolutely
Mm.
untouchable.
Mm. Well said, man. Well said. Well, I definitely, I don't want to sound like an echo, but I pretty much agree with you guys because to me, but I'll put this caveat: there is one other version of the shape that I think is amazing, and it is this guy, that guy right there.
Hobo
Some
Mike.
some way somehow was able to take all the great things that no, you guys know I'm lying. Come on, man. no, no shade, no shade to Tyler. Much love to Tyler, and hope he's doing well, Tyler Main. But I echo a lot of what you guys say. Although I will put in a big shout out um, to Dick Warlock in two. There was something that he added and kind of did his own thing. For sure, it's different. And he famously talks about how he didn't really have much direction, and he was like, is this good? And people were like, yeah, go with it. And then of course, I guess there was this big thing with Deborah Hill and him. Deborah saying, he didn't really portray the shape in the best way like Nick or whatever. But that's all under the carpet. But I did like just he just had this aura about him, and I really enjoyed his version. But yeah, it's got to be James and Nick. There's no doubt about it. I would say James is definitely my favorite, more so because he was able to capture what Nick did. So Nick's got to be number one, and James had the advantage of being able to do three films, and in my opinion, all three, he had great Michael Myers moments. So I echo you guys big time. Nick just had, it's so funny, and you guys mentioned it, Nightfall, you mentioned it, a lot of slasher films, and I've watched a lot of them, especially when we would do the Slasher Movie Club series. And I said this during those too. There were so many slasher films that just didn't even come close. They weren't even in the same universe of the good slashers, which of course would be, Halloween and, the Friday the 13th films. And so it made me appreciate those movies even more because from afar, you could look at it and say, hey, all you need is a guy with a weapon and a mask, and he's going after people. That's easy. Not necessarily, because I do think there is something to be said for these folks that are in the films, like Nick, he just had a natural physicality that worked on camera. And of course, you got to give credit behind the camera too. John directing it, Dean Cundy, cinematographer, the lighting, the angles, all of that stuff is so important, because without all of those things, it may not work. And I've seen many slashers of that time frame, mid 70s to even mid 80s, that don't even come close. I mean, and even other films, even films within the last 20 years, people trying to do slasher films, and they may look good as far as, the film, it looks nice because it's modern. They might have a kick-ass costume and these Excalibur level blades, and looks all great, but it doesn't hold up to some of these classics. And there's a reason for that. And so I wholeheartedly agree that, especially when you look at Nick Castle, he brought something special to that role. And for whatever we see, and we keep getting some good segues, whatever we see coming, into the future as we head towards H50, I just hope that some of the thought process is, hey, we got to get Michael right, and Gordon Green and company tried to do that. They were like, look, screw all the crap with these bad masks. Let's get Christopher Nelson. Let's make a good mask. Let's get a guy underneath the mask who understands and respects it. And as you guys know, James, we had a chance to talk with him, and he was amazing. And he talked about the psychology. He was talking about his mental approach to playing it, and he was so deep. It was like, no wonder you did such a great job. He was so invested. He didn't just put on a mask and just walk around like he's tiptoeing through the tulips. He took it serious. He was really putting himself in there. And that's what we need as we move forward, with the franchise. We need to get Michael right. He's got to move right. He's got to be right. And that might be one of the most important things, because again, he's the show. He is the show. So real quick too, I wanted to jump back to the chat because these guys are working hard. And plus, Miss Rachel has a channel member anniversary, 30 months. This is crazy. Rachel, you rock. Saying, oh my God, time flies. Love it here. Well, we appreciate you, Rachel. Thank you so much for all you do. And wow, 30 months. That is crazy. So crazy. And you guys, thank you so much for sending congrats to Rachel. You guys rock. You rock. And also Paula gave her picks too. 78, 2018, Kills, H2O, getting some love. There you go. And Rachel is messing around with us because she put Resurrection in hers. You know that's that's not true. Stop it. But let me ask you guys. Okay, so and hey, Denisha, let's talk about Resurrection just for a second. We won't make this an ends type of rant. First of all, Nightfall, I'll start with you. Resurrection, is it watchable? Is there any fun in it? Do you like it or what?
I haven't watched Resurrection in a long, long time.
Oh
man, it is hot garbage. It's rough, man. Oh man, I will say this: if I'm scrolling and no, I tried to lie my way through it. No, it's bad.
It's okay. It's all right. We've all been there, man. That's funny. Ronan, do you have any love for Resurrection?
If I watch that movie, I need therapy. Like I need to call a therapist. I need to go for a jog. I need to sweat it out. I don't know, smoke a pack of cigarettes or something. I don't know. Like like
oh my
that
God.
movie. I can't. You're telling me that there is an underground
town. That thing is huge.
And all of a sudden, Busta Rhymes knows kung fu.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just, I can't. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie makes you want to be like, like literally, you want to go Tony Soprano and call a therapist and wonder what the hell is going on. Like
Oh my god.
you'd be sitting
Oh
there.
man.
I can see that too. Like that's something I would do to mess with people. I would just go to an actual like therapist. But what are you in here for? I watched Halloween Resurrection.
Right? Oh my gosh. No, I agree, man. It's a rough one. I can have some fun with it. I can laugh, in there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah. Hey, I want to also give a shout out to our buddy Muggs in the house checking in. I'm still at my friend's celebration of life. Much love, man, and rest in peace, Angelina Montoya. Absolutely, man. Hope you're hanging in there, and yeah, man, we're here. We're here, man. We appreciate you, seriously. We also have a Hollywood guy coming in with a super chat. Hollywood guy, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Saying, hey, Knight, what's up? Good to see Ronan in Nightfall. I still like the OG Halloween. The others are okay. And that's fair, man. That is absolutely fair. I get it. Thank you so much for that, man. We appreciate it. Let's do this real quick, too. Actually, let me also say a thank you to Russell too, coming in with 100 joules. High five. Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Let's do a super chat clip just for you guys, and we appreciate all the support, and it really means a lot. And guys, sometimes just when you thought you were safe, you get a little bit of wisdom from someone you never expect, and it might sound like this.
We are going to enter a mystery wrapped up inside of a riddle, inside of an enigma. Now, remember this.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
See, there you go.
I might have to watch Resurrection tonight.
Yeah, right? I was just about to say, man, you got to watch it. I just want to hear what you say about it, because, like I said, I can have some fun with it. But
I watched it a few times, and it does make me laugh.
Right? At least it can do that. I guess that's a good thing, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I don't know why anybody didn't sit him down and be like, wait, you're going to do what? You're going to dress up like Michael and walk at people with knives.
I know.
Do you want to get kicked down a stair set?
I'm telling you, I don't know what they were thinking. I know they were trying to do something different, at that time period, the whole idea of, Big Brother and all of that type of stuff, cameras in the house, that time period. But man, no, not for Halloween. Jeez, it's horrible. It is horrible. Real quick, hey to you guys that are jumping in, we appreciate y'all. Ty's coming in. Good to see Shantae's in the house. She made it. Good to have y'all. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. We appreciate that. Guys, let's, as we knew we would sooner or later, let's turn our attention to H50. Again, I might have to copyright that, but H50 is hopefully coming. There's no definitive answer on that. It's more so that we got the whispers that they were moving away from the whole television idea, the streaming idea, and trying to focus on a theatrical release for the 50th anniversary, which is in 2028. Which is the right move, by the way. And I've said that from the beginning, even when they first started talking about the streaming thing or the series thing, I was like, okay. I mean, I just think Halloween should be theatrical, and it's popular and successful enough to be theatrical, so it is the right move. But Ronan, let's start with you, because you also have your own idea for what they could do moving forward for Halloween. So how about we start unpacking that a little bit, and you guys in the chat, you can let us know what you think too. We can get a little discussion on that, because you got some good ideas, man. You got some good ideas.
So I guess first off, chat, don't light it on fire. I know some of these ideas with some of you probably ain't going to be the most popular, but like Knight always says, it's not the right opinion. It's not the wrong opinion. It's just mine.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you already kind of hit on Michael. It's got, you got to get Michael right. So we'll just assume that we've already taken care of that, right? We got the right guy, and I would actually, if I was going to make the movie, I would go and get the guy that they had do the flashback scenes and kills, Aaron Armstrong.
Aaron Armstrong, yeah.
I would go get him. It would probably have to be a few years later, like right off the bat, we don't have Laurie or any of the main characters. We'll say that like maybe Loomis is dead or whatever. That way you ain't got to worry about putting no CGI or getting an actor for him. So let's say this is set 10 years after 78, which would make this 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Which means for the hardcore fans and the fans of like the 80s slashers, you're getting your this is for you. Basically we would see Loomis look over the balcony at the beginning of the movie. He disappears. Cut to 10 years later, 1988. You're seeing either police reports or obituaries or some kind of montage of Myers on the loose or whatever, or could this be another Myers victim? And it's state to state because he's not stupid,
Mm-hmm. Right.
And clearly, after he got shot, he got up and left. And like Carpenter said, there was no plan for a number 2. So in other words, he got away. It's up to us to figure out what he did afterwards. I think he just left. The smart thing to do would just be leave. Clearly, he can drive a car. So maybe he's just moving around. Also, I would introduce, and this is where it gets a little bit controversial, but the question of how has it been 10 years? How's he not been caught? If he's moving state to state. What if, and no, this right off the bat, I'm going to say this, no, it's not the Thorn cult. But what if you had a group of people, and it doesn't have to be a large group or anything like that, of people who are, dressed up like him? Because in a way, then you could make that a sort of an Easter egg to the original Halloween 2, where you see the other guy dressed up like him. So clearly, that outfit is a thing, or at least that mask is a thing. It's
right.
So you could have people going around, sort of call whatever you want, but they're not like after anything. They're just evil. They're just trying to kill people. They're crazy. Whatever you want, or you'd have 4 or 5 of them, or just 2 or 3 other ones. But in there somewhere, you would have the real one. The thing is, and this is where I draw the idea from, is actually The Dark Knight, the Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember at the beginning of The Dark Knight, there's Batman imposters.
Yep.
Right? The whole goal of having imposter Michaels would be to make the audience feel like Scarecrow in that scene, where he sees those imposters, he's like, that's not him. And then when the real shit shows up, he's, that's more like it. I want the audience. And you would throw in little nuances. I was explaining this to you. Again, Easter egg and ode to John Carpenter, and my favorite John Carpenter movie, The Thing. He would take and make sure light reflects off the eyeballs to signify who's human. Maybe you could have a scene where the real one's killing somebody. Quick flash on his mask. And you would have to, in the theater, you wouldn't catch it because it's just done and over with. You can't rewind it. Once you see it in DVD, people would, just like the thing where, like, he says, give it back, supposedly. You would have to go back and look, but you could see a close-up on his mask to where it's like, oh, shit, this one has one eye. And clearly moves a certain way that the other ones aren't doing. The other ones, you could have an opening scene where Michael's after somebody. The person that they're after shoots him dead, takes the mask off. It's a chick. You're like, what the hell? But in there, you would have the real one. And this whole movie would be based about a nationwide manhunt to try and find the real guy and stop all these other ones. from there, it can go multiple different directions. If you wanted to make it more culty, you could be like, it's a group of people and their whole plan is to eventually, on the 10th anniversary of 78, go back to Haddonfield and do all their shit there. And that's where, again, I said Michael's not stupid. He's evil.
Right.
He's not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got him taking out regular people and cops and these other. But it's mainly for that feeling. Also because remember the feeling in Ends where we got so far into it and we realized Michael's not in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I want, when they realize there's imposters, I want people to have just a hint of, wait a minute. And then that's when you hit them with, oh shit. The real shit's here. You want to scare them a little bit into thinking, they're going to do this shit again and rip that right out from under them. Screw that. We're not doing that to you. And give the people what they want. Reverse what they actually do in movies now. And like I said, you could go different ways with that, but you don't need Lori doing it that way.
Right.
Because it's nationwide. You could have, a kill in a certain state and then it'd be like 3 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas, 2 months later, New York, Louisiana, all over. And however you want to go about that. But the real key, I think, is, like you said, get Michael right. But you need to have that feeling of, they're going back. This is this is not taking place during modern day. We're going back to the 80s. We're getting that 80s slasher vibe. But are they giving us Michael? They're not giving us Michael. Almost like with Halloween 3. Like you were explaining. You're like, where's Michael? Where's Michael? And then right when you start thinking that, and not long into the movie, we're not going to make people wait for it forever.
That's a good distinction.
We don't wait because Michael is in this whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to hint the idea. We want people to get that little hint of doubt and then give them that fucking huge relief. Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's either that, or you could just have it escape to where it's just a few years later and he's just doing the same thing in a different town and moving, or just moving town to town. And that's how they haven't caught him. You could have, let's go to the Dark Knight again. You could have the first time we see Michael, he ain't even wearing his mask. Like the scene where you see Heath Ledger and he's standing there on the corner. You see the back of him. So you don't see Michael's face, but that's him.
Right.
And then, so, and again, like with Halloween 4, I like that one too, because, and you've talked about this, the design of him in there with the wrapping and all that. He doesn't have to necessarily wear the same mask, but it's got to
right. Yeah.
Maybe see him use it for specific stuff. Maybe he's gotten away with all this because he's going to a different mask. And maybe he did, like maybe you do show a flashback scene. The only time that you do see any of the old characters, you show a flashback scene of him escaping. He's limping. Maybe he's limping because the bullets are getting to him. Takes the mask off. You get like a breath so he can drops the mask there or whatever. Maybe it's in the woods or, or in the house, wherever. Something. Goes back to get it there. Another Easter or another callback to, how they did it in Rob Zombies. He goes back for it. But you would have to be able to explain how has he not been caught. I think having multiple different people portraying him or trying to portray him or recreate his works in some way or another would do that. And it would make it to where, again, you don't have to have the same characters. It's just anybody. Just, there's no Laurie in this. No Loomis. None of that.
Right.
And you could, once he escapes, you could show a montage through the years up until 88 of him you know, like news reportings or whatever, obituaries, whatever. Just using that as like the first, like the opening credits, just showing them on. You know what I'm saying? While it's reading everybody's names, you just see in the background of all this different shit in the state and the year, and you realize like, oh, this guy's going through it. And now then you introduce all these other people who are trying to do the shit too. It could work. Of course, it's not the best idea. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like that because they probably wouldn't like the idea of other people wearing the mask.
Well, if you do it right, though, that's the thing, though. If you do it right, and like you were saying, he's definitely in the film, and he's going to be active and a part of it. Unlike like we were talking about for Ends earlier, then I think that's as long as Michael is treated right in the film. I think at least for most fans, I know for me personally, as long as he's treated right in the film and he's active and he has that presence and actual scenes where it's him, I'm happy.
It would mean it's specifically literally just because I want the audience to be like, come on, they're not going to do this. Nope, never mind. You know, like
giving them a surprise.
Yeah, it is, and it kind of would be like throwing shade onto like past like Ends where it's like that's not how you guys do it. You don't make people go like, oh god, I can't wait to see what he does after kills. I can't wait to see what. How
right.
What's left? Like 5 minutes? Where is he? Like,
right.
We want it to be, all right, this is 10 minutes in and there's no Michael. Why is there a fake one? What is going on? And then you hit him with the real shit. And you get, you know, basically an hour and 20 of Michael if it's like an hour and 40 minutes. So.
I dig it. I dig it, man. And like I was saying, you know, for me and Nightfall, I'll get your thoughts on it too. But, you know, like for me, that's the thing we have to do for this new film. I think that we have to push the mythology forward while still respecting the mythology. You know what I'm saying? And it's tricky. It's not easy to do. And you know, and I'm in the same boat with you too, Ronan. Like I'm not necessarily saying, oh, the way that I'm thinking is the best way it could be done, and no one could think of a better way. I'm sure there's 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 other ways that could be better. But I think at the core, the thing that we need to do is not rehash, because at this point we're talking about 50 years. This will be the 14th movie, 13 with Michael, but we got to do some new things, and it's so many different things you can do. Your idea is great. In my H50 video, well, actually a couple of videos, I talked about just simple little things like, you know, again, whole new characters that he's involved with. No Loomis, no Annie, no Linda, no Lori, no Tommy, none of them. No Brackett, none of them. Just brand new situation. It's a new timeline. You know what I'm saying? But this franchise is used to doing that. But if you do it right, and like you said, if you have a story where you have these people that are, whatever you want to call it, infatuated with Michael, or they're trying to emulate Michael or whatever, I think that that's interesting. And it's something that we haven't seen before, you know? And I think the franchise will need that. You know, we can't keep being handicapped to the family angle. There's been a lot of advantages to it and great movies and some of my favorite movies I'll ever have in my life. But, you know, we have to find a way to move beyond that if the franchise is to continue. And if they do it right, like I said in my video, and I truly believe this, if they do it right, we could be talking about a whole new line of films for years. I mean, this could almost be like a whole new, you know, branch on the family tree for Halloween if they did it right. And that's what excites me as a fan is that I can't be, and you know, obviously we're talking about it. I know people in the audience, obviously they talk about it in the comments of videos and all throughout social media. We're not the only ones thinking like this. A lot of us are thinking we want something fresh. We love this character, but we want to keep, you know, kind of making it fresh. Nightfall, let me ask you, first of all, what do you think of that idea from Ronan? And do you have any like additions to that or subtractions or anything on your mind as you hopefully are looking forward to H50.
I think I think his ideas are great, and like whatever they do, I'm along with you as far as like the characters go. There has to be, for this to go and continue to go, like for the future, you have to have different characters. Like you have to be done with Lori Loomis. Like there has to be a different timeline. And I think what they hinted at in Halloween Ends was that, but they got it wrong with Michael, because you can't kill Michael. Like you can't. We can't retire Michael. He's the one constant that has to continue. And in this new movie, H50, like I don't want to see him go, well, let's do this. Let's bring out Michael and Laurie in wheelchairs. No, let's not do that. Let's not have them out here fighting with walkers. Like we're done with Laurie. We're done with all that. She got her swan song. She got to throw him in the grinder and be done with it. So let's go ahead and retire that. Let's be done with that. And see what they can come up with. Get Michael right, which is the priority, and then see what you can come up with outside of that. And even if they do something modern, get the story right and go from there. They don't need a Loomis. They don't need to try to rehash and do a retelling of the whole story again and get someone else to play Laurie Strode. Jamie's done that well. Be done with that. Just be completely done with all of that. And like, I love some of, like, even if they go back to, I think they can go back and do like what Ronan said. Like if they go back and do with him escaping after the original, because I do remember some of the ideas they had originally for Halloween 4 after part 2 with the explosion. There's some stories there that they never quite tackled. So there's some things they could go back and do. So I don't mind some of that, you know, that weren't centered around Laurie at all whatsoever. So I love some of those ideas as well. So they can go back and do some of that and bring back some of that nostalgia.
I
And
agree.
I would be perfectly fine with that too. They just got to get it right. And they do have time. Look, we're still a couple of years away. So they can definitely get it right. But they need to be done with Laurie Strode. Go ahead and be done with that. Done with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like she had her goodbye. And I think they did that perfectly with Ends for her character. Out of all the things they could have gotten wrong with Ends, they definitely got it right for her. She got her perfect end.
She
so
did.
Be done with that.
I agree, man. No, well said. I mean, I think that the interesting thing will be business wise how they look at this film, because that always changes some of the creative decisions, you know, when they try to make moves that'll be business oriented and to make the movie possibly successful. And I just hope that you know, they get it right, because I think there's like some core things that they have to do to make this film, you know, work, and also possibly set up, like I said, a whole new doorway of sequels. You know, like I said, Michael, and I said this I've said this many times, you know, when you talk about these iconic horror villains like Michael or Freddy or Jason or Leatherface, or Ghostface or what have you, these are the universal monsters. You know, that's what they are, you know. And we're talking, I mean, even Texas Chainsaw now is, you know, over 50 years. So there's no doubt, if they keep making good decisions with these films and there's a fan base for them, which there will be for a long time, I'm sure, you know, there could be another 50 years of these films easily. I mean, it could happen, but you know, there are points in the journey where I think it's very, you know, you got to make the right choice. You could go left or right, and this could not so much make or break, but you know, this could definitely help keep things going smoothly, or it could halt things for a while, or maybe a very long time for whatever reason. So yeah, I mean, you guys came up with some really good points, and I wholeheartedly agree. Let me real quick too jump back to the chat. We got a whole bunch of other people jumping in, and for all you guys that have jumped in, we appreciate y'all coming on in and hanging out. Welcome. We got Sarah's in the house too, man. I saw Sarah jumped in, and Sarah, I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And Julie was also in too. So we got everybody here. You guys are all right. Seriously. Russell, good to have you here. Thank you so much. And Sarah, thanks for gifting. Sarah's gifting memberships. You're all right. Thank you so much. It looked like Erica. It went to Erica. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you guys so much. You guys rock. We got Scott in here as well. What's going on, Scott? Good to see you. I love ends, but it should not have taken 45 minutes for Michael to show up. That's right. That's what we were saying earlier. You can't diminish him to that degree. You got to find a way to showcase him, the right way. He's the show. He is the show. Hey, we got Barb in the house. Barb, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you've been doing well. Awesome to have you here. All right. Very, very cool. And Ty saying we got a follow up from Curse. Michael becomes uncontrollable, kills the cult of Thorn. Come on, man. The Vatican gets involved and they send the Pope's exorcist, but he gets slaughtered, of course. Oh, man, that's crazy. I don't even know what to say to that. Erica's also gifting a membership. Thank you so much, Erica. She got a membership. She gives a membership. It went to Ty. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. That helps us out a lot. And by the way, and I have not said it once, but yeah, if you guys would like to join the membership, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. And also, a shout out to all of our members, our channel members. We appreciate it. You guys rock, and seriously, you guys help out a heck of a lot. Let's do another super chat clip, and just thanks for all you guys, and also you guys that are just here and watching and being a part of the community and being positive. We really appreciate all of that. Guys, sometimes you have heroes in your life and you'd never think you'd see them do certain things, but yeah, sometimes they do it, and it looks like this.
Budweiser, you created a monster, and they call him Frankenstein. And the tavern down the street is the laboratory where he makes the transformation all the time.
There he is. That
is so random.
Oh man, it's so true. And I love Stallone too, man. Seriously.
So
but yeah. Bro, you just gifted a membership too. Come on, man. Thanks, bro. We appreciate you, man. Seriously. And it looks like it went to Paula. Paula, you're in. You're back in. Awesome stuff. You guys, seriously, we appreciate that. So look, Ronan, let's go back as we start to wind down here. Time flies by so quick. So as we start to wind down here a little bit, this is one of my last questions I want to throw to you guys, and I haven't given you guys time to think about it, so don't worry about it. But if you were to guess, let's say we're going to fast forward to 2028, maybe even early 2029, okay? And we get the new Halloween. If you were to take a guess, if you were a betting person, how do you think it's going to shape out? Pun intended. How do you think it's going to shape out as far as the movie, the fandom, and the possible, I'll just say possible because you may not think there'll be a possible future of the franchise? What do you think?
If they get it right, like you were saying, they could do, a whole nother trilogy or just keep it going, like I was thinking, what if you had like one specific detective that is after him over the course of several movies, and he keeps running into the fake ones. When and you're building this anticipation between the real one and this badass, you know, FBI detective or whatever, you know, and then when you finally get it. So if you do it right, however they do it, this could go one of two ways. I mean, it could be like Ends, where, you know, people at first really hate it and then end up loving it. Either way, I think it's probably going to end up like it usually is. Which is, you know, if you think about it, every single movie other than the original one, because I haven't really heard anybody ever really say that the original one sucks.
I have, which totally surprised me. Not many, but I've heard a couple that were like, yeah, you know, it's not that great. You know, it's not.
As far as not that great, but
like,
I mean, the ones after that have definitely been decisive or divisive. Like, you know,
yeah,
you've got the people that love them, or you got the people that hate them.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it can be something that everybody likes. I don't want it to,
man.
I don't want it to be like, for instance, what was it? Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh gosh.
Don't do that kind of shit to us.
Oh man, you know that's true,
like
bro.
That. They do something like that, like the way they did Luke in that movie. I will walk my ass to wherever the projector thing is up in the top of the theater and take that shit and throw it out that window. You're not doing that. Like, you can't. I was so mad at that. Not to get like off topic.
Yeah, I was too.
I don't know why. Like now I'm thinking about that. Now I'm pissed again. Like it's like, why would you do that to Luke? Why?
Yeah, so bad.
Yep. Mark Hamill didn't like it. He even said, "That's not my Luke Skywalker."
Yeah, you can't do that, man.
Yeah, well,
and Michael is that level. You know, Michael's like that level. Like when it comes to the horror, like the horror community, Michael is definitely like Luke. He's the Luke Skywalker of horror movies. That's a weird, or horror movies. That's a weird way to put it, but yeah, he is like, you know, you don't disrespect. There's a reason. Like I was watching Freddy versus Jason the other day. There's a reason that at the end there's no clear winner. You know, they're both still alive. Why? Because you can't disrespect the fandom or the franchise.
Right.
So if they do it right, yeah. And the thing that's
plus
sad
they
trilogy,
disrespected enough of Friday the 13th anyway, so they're like,
oh yeah,
let's let Jason be shown at the end because we got to throw him a bone, you know.
Yeah.
Oh but, man.
Like just as long as, you know, like with the last trilogy that they, if they would have gotten Ends right, it would be the perfect trilogy. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it would have been really good.
Imagine if there was no transfer of powers, no Corey beating up Michael in the whole movie, even if he is wounded, you know, and have him die the same way. But that's the end of it. Like then it would make sense. But so I don't want that same feeling. I want exactly the opposite of how I felt in Ends, where, you know, you eventually realize there's no Michael in this. It's about to be over. And I'm going to walk out of this theater disappointed, and I can tell. I want to go into this with just the littlest inkling of like, please don't disappoint me. Please don't disappoint me. Looks like they're going to start to disappoint me. They pull that rug right out from under your feet and show you that, no, we're not going to do that. We wanted you to think we were going to do that so that way we could surprise you. And now it's even better for you. Now you're enjoying it. Now you're happy. I want people to leave that theater going, that was Halloween.
Right. No, I wholeheartedly agree. Nightfall, how about you, man? If we were able to project ourselves into the future, you know, again, whether it's 2028, late 2028, early 2029, the movie does come out. If you were to bet, you know, one way or the other, or however, how do you think the film will be, and what do you think the effect of the fandom will be?
So I'm hoping that when it's said and done with this film, They've done something that instead of that'll lead to a good trilogy where they're not trying to kill off Michael at the end of this trilogy. Because like what they've typically do a lot, especially lately, is they're doing something that tries to kill off the villain permanently. Hopefully they're doing something that builds it and make it sustainable for the future. Because that's definitely what we got in this last one. And I get why, because they were trying to make it like an older version, but we don't need to do that right now. They need to do something now that's going to do something for the future. Make a story that's going to be sustainable. So hopefully that's what we're going to end up feeling when we leave the theaters with this next one. They're like, okay, we got a good story now. This is something that people are going to be able to sink their teeth in now. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Me too, man. Me too. And I'm going to get to the chat in a second too. If I was to just say, if my guess is that the film will be good. What level of good, I don't know. It'll at least be, somewhere in the average of these 13 films, because, and I say that because it seems like, and Halloween's really weird like this, and I've talked about this when I've talked about the whole franchise, but Halloween, it's almost like, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps down, back and forth type of thing. When Halloween 4 came out as a course correction, I think it was well received in general. A lot of people enjoy it, myself included. When H2O came out, that was, a course correction. And as much as I can sometimes have issues with 07, when Rob Zombie's Halloween came out, there was still a lot of, fandom and people excited and all of that. And there are great things in it. When 2018 came out, so it's like they always kind of go back and forth. And, as much as I enjoy Kills, it's very divisive in and of itself too. And obviously ends is. So I have this feeling that the next one will be better and better received. And that's kind of, if I was to take a bet, that's where I'm going with it. And of course, a lot of that is, looking through the lens of a huge fan. Of course, that's what I want. But again, you have to be able to look at this franchise and understand what works, what didn't. It's all laid out. Like, you can look at all the mistakes, and not even in this damn franchise. Look at the other franchises. I was talking about the same thing with Scream 7 before that came out. Look at the issues from the other legacy franchises, because the legacy franchise is tough to uphold. I'll admit that. All these franchises that are 30 years, 40 years, 50 years old, it's crazy, because how can you continue to keep those movies going? You know what I'm saying? So it is difficult, but not impossible. It's not impossible. And they just have to look at what's going on, look at what they've done, try to come up with a good story, and just, put it out there. And I think they will, at least to a substantial degree. That's what I think. And of course, that's what I hope. And you guys in the chat, let us know as well. I know I'm way behind in the chat, but definitely let us know what you think as well. We're still catching you guys' comments. We got James coming in. What's up, man? Good to see you. They need to shelve it for good. Put it away. That's what he's saying. So much great horror that the generation hasn't discovered. Yesterday, just introducing this generation to trash remakes. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. And I've said this a lot too. The unfortunate thing is, for every decent film, that we have in these legacy franchises, or franchises that have been around, I would say at least 20 years, you possibly could have some really bad ones too, and in my own opinion, we saw that with, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. That was horrendous. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? But the other side of that is that for the younger audience, they get to be indoctrinated, and good films always rise to the top anyways, in general, so people can see maybe those lesser films and then go back to some of the older ones, or the ones that were really good, and can say, oh, okay, well, this is how one of these movies should be. And the same is true for Halloween. People can have fun with some of the films like a Kills, but you can watch it and say, this doesn't stand close to 78, because it doesn't. It just doesn't. So, I look at it from that perspective as well, especially for the younger audience. But no, I agree, man. There's a lot of bad ones that do come out. There are, unfortunately, but that's always been the case in horror. At least for me, like, when I started watching Friday the 13th as a kid, and I was watching, like you guys were talking about earlier, I was watching a lot of films that were coming out or that I would get at the video store. And it was some bad movies, I mean, some of them were fun, but some of them were just bad, but then you'd get some really cool ones. Like you were saying, Ronan, Intruder, or The Burning, you'd get those types of movies. You're like, all right, we're back. It's just kind of the nature of, like, the law of averages. James, thank you so much though for that super chat. We appreciate you, man. Seriously. Any final thoughts on this discussion of the franchise, as far as where it's been, Ronan, and where it could go?
I just want them to make sure that whatever they do, obviously, we've said this a million times tonight, but I want them to do it right. But maybe make it a scenario, like my idea that opens it up to where you could have way more than just 3 movies.
Oh yeah.
You could start up this first one could start a new timeline. Well, not a new timeline, but it starts 10 years afterwards. You could have it go into the 90s and into the early 2000s, whatever, and have a mass manhunt for this guy for however many years, because there's people that have never been caught for a long time in real life. Mm-hmm. And as long as you have the scenario set up to where you can have more than, one movie, then having people that are trying to recreate his works and shit like that, that helps with the longevity of it. Like that'll give the real guy a chance to keep doing it, for more movies.
Yeah.
We're not saying we should have a whole, bunch of movies where it's just other imposters, but use them to benefit the longevity of the franchise. That way it's almost kind of like you'd have like a Hank Schrader type guy, in from Breaking Bad, like have a specific guy after him, but every time he gets right there, it's a dead end, or it's the wrong one. Or,
yeah, I like that.
You would want Michael to be 2-3 steps ahead of, or just getting out of there just before it's always too late. And then finally, the reason the finale of Breaking Bad, that one episode where Hank finally gets him, is like the most watched episode in the entire show, basically, is because that's what it all built up to over.
Right.
And you don't have to make this a TV show, but you could have seasons where like a season is 3 movies, or not 3 movies, trilogy, just have trilogies or 5 movies, whatever you want to do, but it needs to be set up so that way it can keep going. It doesn't have to be just 3 movies. And then you would have new characters in every single movie. It goes state to state. This is a nationwide manhunt. This isn't just Haddonfield. Everybody's after him. And you again, this might be controversial. You might not even have to call it Halloween. Because does he just break out on Halloween and kill people? Or, like what? Like he's does nothing for the rest of the year? Does it have to take place during Halloween? Can you call it Michael or The Shape or some shit like, just...
Yep. I said that too. It you could have him still doing stuff after Halloween, after the date.
It's still Halloween,
right?
It's still Michael Myers, but it doesn't have to actually happen on Halloween. Now, at some point in these movies, that's the big maybe okay, each movie is a specific month or whatever, and you build up to that. And it's like, all right, what's he going to do on actual Halloween? Maybe that's the only time he actually wears the mask. You just never happen to really see his face.
I think that'd be an incredible TV series. My gosh.
It would be a great TV series, honestly. If you're gonna do a Michael Myers TV series, do it through the years.
I'd
Do it
love
like
to
that.
see it.
But don't do like imposter Michaels. Like make it actually him, and he's just happens to be like there is a character who's specifically after him and wants to get him. It's not Loomis. It's not these other people. This is you can start it again. 88, 10 years later. Loomis is dead. Laurie's moved on. This isn't even in Haddonfield. Maybe it's somebody that has like is specifically like is driven to go after this guy. It's like I got to get this guy. Somebody's got to stop him. I know I can do it. Because like with Hank, it was like he knew there was something.
It was something that was like it was part of his soul. He had to find out who this Heisenberg was, and it was also kind of a way for him to prove himself in his position, and he was smart enough to sometimes get the little breadcrumbs and get closer and closer, and then kind of be off the trail. So he really became obsessed. But that was a great like cat and mouse between him and Walter White. You
would build that anticipation up. Say you do 10 movies. Say you do actually, like somebody gets the rights for it, has just crazy money to throw at it. Let's just, just scenario wise, you got crazy money to throw at it. You're going to do it the right way. You're going to make sure all the fans that, love the original are getting what they want. We're going to make 10 movies. We're going to have a specific guy after him over the course of these 10 movies. There's going to be other imposter Michaels. There's going to be all kinds of different crazy scenarios that happen that just keep him on the heels of Michael, but you only give him they do this in wrestling. The heel comes out and attacks the baby face from behind, beats the crap out of him. The baby face just starts coming back and the heel gets out of the ring.
Yep.
You don't really, until the pay-per-view, you build up the anticipation. You want to see that good guy get the bad guy.
Right.
And you could have it get super personal to where it's like maybe Michael kills this guy's partner or loved one or something. But it has to be a scenario where you can continue doing this with new characters. Same Michael.
Yep.
And it can be years, and again, it could start in 88 and we could finish this thing, 10 years later. Just one movie per year.
It's got to be new characters, man. That's the thing that, that's one of my prerequisites. We got to have new characters, because if we don't, then we're going to be pinning ourselves in the corner, which I don't want to see at all. Nightfall, how about you, man? Like any final thoughts about, the franchise or anything that we've covered tonight?
I'm with you. We have to have new characters at this point, because like them trying to rehash the same characters over and over is going to get completely stale. So they have to do something that's going to lead it into the future. So I'm the same way. Like whatever's going to make it fresh again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only reason that's what makes it so hard for them to make new content now, like new films, is having a difficult time coming up with stories to make. It's like, well, who's going to play Laurie this time? No, we're done with that. Like, it's time to come up with something else. That's what made Halloween Ends so hard for people to receive, because they tried something so different and it was not well received, but they didn't start it from the very first film. So now you have to come up with something brand new from the very first film. And I think they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they get Michael right from the first film with the brand new cast and ensemble, you'll be fine.
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, I think that's the bottom line is, getting Michael right and having, fresh characters, a fresh direction, but still respecting, the franchise, because that's important too. You can't not respect the franchise and what's come before, because then you alienate your fan base, and granted, we're the small percentage, we're only whatever, 4 or 5% of, the full audience, because we're hardcore. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got friends, hell, I've got family that, enjoy these movies, but they couldn't name the characters like I can. They couldn't name the directors. They couldn't tell you the year that they were made.
Yeah.
That's for me, and that's for us and the folks in the chat and the people that, hang out on YouTube and social media. So we're a really small percentage. But that being said, we're important because obviously we're talking about it now. People talk about these things on social media and so forth. So, but I'm hopeful. I'll end it with that. I'm pretty hopeful, and I think that and it sounds kind of silly to say it like this, but like I said earlier, I think we're due. We had the last one was very divisive. The one before that was kind of, some people on the fence. So I think we're due for one that's good. I'm not saying it's going to be great or the best or maybe not even in the top 3, but I think it'll be, I think it'll be a little bit above average for the franchise, which again, it's 13 films. So real quick before we head out too, we got another super chat coming in. James coming in again, $20 super chat, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, man. See, I love this. He says, I feel that today's fans haven't realized the Ponzi scheme from Scream 7 that's going to repeat in the trilogy again. It's just best to walk away, clean, move on. The movie's not going to be the Phantom War. I mean, look, the only thing I can say, man, is, the odds are against, but I'm glad that we got 2018, and again, I have a lot of fun with kills, but I think 2018 was really well done. And I think it added a lot to, as far as my enjoyment, of the franchise, and again, it's a franchise I've enjoyed since I was a little kid, but yeah, there's definitely going to be bumps in the road. Hopefully not big bumps though, man. But thank you so much. We appreciate you for the super chat. Seriously. And for you guys in the chat, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. All of you guys that have been here. We got Troy coming in. What's up, Troy? Coming in at the end, man. Catch the replay. I hope that you can catch the replay because this was a good conversation, man. Seriously. Ronan, Nightfall, I appreciate you guys coming on to the panel and talking about this. This was a lot of fun, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did because I could talk about Halloween all night long, as you guys know.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, glad to be on.
Absolutely. We'll have to do this one again. Hey, before we head on out, Troy's saying they lucked the hell out with 2018. They did. It's true, man. I doubt they can make a modern one that reaches that height. I don't know. See, I don't want to say never. You know what I mean? And thank you so much, Val. I don't want to say never because after Halloween 2, I was just like, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I was just like, oh man, and don't get me wrong, that's for another night, but it had some good moments and it had some good stuff in it. I wasn't fully on board as a Halloween movie, but it's fine. It's not the worst thing. But I was thinking to myself, where can they go from there? And then 2018 came out. And I was like, yes, that's great. So, I don't want to never say never because you never know, man. But anyways, guys, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Definitely let us know what you think in the comments. We weren't able to get to everyone, but we did get a chance to read all of you guys, and we appreciate all the support. And we will catch you guys next time. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.